Hello my soccer universe, what an exciting Europa League evening, and if you turned off early, you missed the big finale, the big turnaround for the Roman teams that both snatched stoppage time winners, and for Lazio, totally against the odds as well. If you look at the overall field, I have to say, probably the biggest surprise for me was Bodø just beating Olympiacos just like that 3-0, but also Rangers going to Fenerbahçe and beating them 3-1. Those were pretty good wins for those two outsiders, if you would like, both of them coming in at the 7th and 8th spot, potentially facing Roman teams now. But we have to look at these doubles. We had two Premier League teams, both performing not so great. Spurs really didn't show much in Alkmaar, and while United dominated probably the first 70 minutes, they in the end could have lost it to Real Sociedad. Which brings me, of course, to the Spanish/Basque teams, who, may move on, both against the odds at the moment. Bilbao, I think, could do something against Roma. Real Sociedad against United is one of those games I have a really hard time calling because both teams are not doing well in their league. Both had high hopes of playing the final at San Mamés against each other. It would be the ultimate derby, and maybe the chances have decreased for that one. And so at the moment the Roman teams are looking at a potential Roman derby in the final, the biggest Roman derby ever. I still don't quite believe it because Lazio have shown quite some frailties at Pilsen, and Roma against Bilbao is the top match in this round, I would argue, and that one is still wide open. But Roma have at least a slight advantage and are one of the informed teams. And while I'm talking about the English teams, the Spanish teams and the Italian teams, we're probably also overlooking Frankfurt, who had a pretty good win at Ajax. So I think that competition is a very interesting one and wide open. Let's review the action of yesterday evening. After ousting Galatasaray in the playoffs, AZ may even target a bigger scalp after they beat Tottenham at home 1-0. And deservedly so. However, the winning goal came through a really weird own goal by Bergwall, who wants to clear and slices the ball, goes into his own net. But then there were also a few goal line clearances late in the first half in there as well. AZ controlling game without having too many chances, but there was almost nothing coming from Spurs. So a deserved 1-0 win for AZ. And in the league phase, they only lost 1-0 at Spurs, so there might be an improvement in there. It looks like FCSB's run in the Europa League is coming to an end, losing 3-1 at home to OL. They had an early chance, however, Lyon, who were really well away from home, took the lead through Tagliafico. After Mikodadze cross, he heads it in and then he also goes through the legs of a defender. Curious detail, there was also a second ball on the pitch while that goal was scored, so maybe it should not have counted, although it was pretty clear which ball was the live one. Despite all the control, FCSB come back, get the equalizer after a long Radunovic cross over the entire Lyon defense, and they forget about Baluta, who had just come on, and it's 1-1, but then late on Lyon yet again the go-ahead goal through Fofana after Cherki assist. However, that was a really weird goal with many players, even attacking players, falling over themselves in the process as well. And then after a corner kick, when FCSB tries to get the equalizer, it's again a counter-attack that Fofana converts after a Ryan Cherki assist. 3-1 OL. I think they're moving on to the next round. It seemed like Fenerbahçe were only physically on the pitch when they faced the Rangers. Rangers just too quick, and you could see it already in the first goal when they really defend poorly. The ball comes via Diamant back to Dessers, puts it over the goal line where Soyuncu can only clear it behind the line. It is 1-0 Rangers, though Djiku gets in the 30th minute a beautiful equalizer for Fenerbahçe, but Václav Černý again, the defense for Fenerbahçe, not on there. After Dessers' assist, re-established the lead just before the halftime break. Second half was more or less Dessers scoring and being disallowed for offside. Twice he did so. Fenerbahçe tried to move forward, however they leave themselves open on the back, and in the end it's Raskin playing it over to Václav Černý, who scores his second goal on the evening. No, it's not Dessers. 81st minute, 3-1 win for Rangers. One of the marquee matches was definitely Real Sociedad against Manchester United. The game was more or less controlled by United for about 70 minutes without creating too many big chances. However, if there were chances, they fell to United, especially Garnacho was a live wire, and he was also involved in the go-ahead goal through Xerxes, where he runs on the right side, plays it then across the box to Xerxes, who puts it more or less on the center of goal. What Ramiro is doing there is not a goal that you want to concede. But then it's a corner kick, and Bruno Fernandes gets his hand on the ball. You don't really see it at first, however, in the replay was clear. It was a handball where Sabal steps up and it's 1-1. Almost out of nowhere, but then Real Sociedad came and really had a few good chances. Oscarson sometimes has to do better, and Real Sociedad probably could have won that one. So it goes back to the Old Trafford, where I think Real Sociedad still have a chance. Ajax's home game against Frankfurt was a real up and down, high intensity affair where Ajax had early on more of the game. Brobbey already hitting the post after 2 minutes. Then, after Henderson cross, he just storms past the Frankfurt defenders and heads it in. 10th minute, Ajax took the lead. However, Frankfurt already had chances to equalize as well, but Ajax themselves also created quite a few. A turning point potentially came when Pasveer, the Ajax goalie, had to come off and Gorta came on, because with the first shot on his goal, yes, it was deflected by Brobbey, he concedes through Larsen. However, I don't think this was that big of a loss for Ajax. Frankfurt then did control the game and actually took a deserved lead in the 70th minute when Knauf had a little duel with Hutz at the halfway line. Ajax wanted to see a foul, I think it was, or right, runs through, and Skiri then puts it into the net. That then woke up Ajax, who then angrily wanted to get the equalizer. However, in the end it ends with a, I would say, overall deserved 2-1 away win for Frankfurt. There might be a track around the Olympico, however this is one of the few stadiums with a track that can have an absolute magnificent atmosphere. Did you see the walkout with all the flags all around the stadium? Marvelous stuff. The game itself in the first half was a weird one, because despite Bilbao controlling the game, it was Roma who had the better chances. Dovbyk running through on goal but stumbling over himself before he can get the shot off, and also after Baldanzi assist, Dybala hit the crossbar. There was only a minor chance for Athletic Club just before the halftime break. However, Athletic Club take the lead after a corner. Paredes heads it over to Iñaki Williams, who heads it into the 50th minute. However, that really ignited Roma, who then made a power play and got the equalizer in the 56th minute after a Celik run pass across the box, and Angelini is more or less forgotten there. Gets the equalizer and Roma were then on top, but the game leveled out. Got reignited again, however, by a second yellow card for Alvarez in the 85th minute, and then Roma thought, now we have the advantage and we have to take care of that one. It was a shot by Salamakers that didn't make it in, however, in stoppage time. Salamakers finds Shomorodov with a deep ball, and I don't know how to really explain to you the goal. It looked clumsy, however, it was also great skill. Shomorodov, tall guy, takes it with the back to his goal, turns around with a few touches, and then takes even a weak shot, but it goes into the net. Big win for Roma. I guess I'm in for Bodo jersey. After they beat Olympiacos 3-0 at home, every visit up north is a tough one, and for the Greeks especially. Those were two of the two best defenses. However, Bodo were just fresher on the ball most of the time, despite the game more or less being played slow. But whenever Bodo played a little bit faster, Olympiacos had troubles. Bodo actually took the lead after Gundersen header hits the crossbar and goes via keeper Solakis into the net, and then just before the half, it just goes too fast when Blomberg assists Hög, and it's 2-0 Bodo. And similar attacking move first via Jens-Peter Hauge, getting over to Björkan, again Hög on the other side free. It's 3-0 and Bodo can enjoy a big advantage going back to Piraeus, where it will be hot, but I think Bodo might weather that storm. And if you thought that Liverpool's win at PSG was a robbery, I think Lazio pulled a similar stunt. Yes, they took the lead through Romagnoli after Schulz already had given Victoria the lead. However, it was an offside by Schulz as well. Just a teeny bit. The Romagnoli goal was a weird one because he was completely forgotten at the far post and can head it in from a very short distance. Not much to talk home about. However, in the second half, Victoria Pilsen really took over and get the equalizer. It was a Kalvach free kick where Duro Sinmi is fully forgotten at the back post, similar to Romagnoli, gets the equalizer, and then there were quite some attacks and quite some chances, especially Schulz was the linchpin for Victoria Pilsen, and then a high boot by Rovella onto Schulz into his face. 77 minutes, a direct red card was pretty clear if you saw the replay, and then even worse, Gigot in the 93rd minute sent off with a second yellow card, so Lazio down to 9 men. Of course Victoria Pilsen are trying to find a winner, however it is Lazio who get the winner. Isaacson has the ball, plays it out to Guendouzi. He also shoves the defender a little bit. That puts him off, and so when Guendouzi plays it over to Isaacson, even though the defender has found his footing again, there was just enough space, and Isaacson takes a shot in the 98th minute to win it for Lazio against all odds. So with these results, if we look at the chances of moving on according to my model, both Roman teams have advantages. I mean, Lazio at home against Pilsen, you would expect them to move on. However, on the other side, it's Pilsen, who can be a rather sturdy side. I think that Bilbao are a slightly higher favorite than what my model spits out. Yes, Roma have the advantage, but that's not an easy one. United against Real Sociedad will be a rather level affair, and I think Old Trafford might not actually boost United, or will it? I can see Real Sociedad doing a job. You would expect that Spurs will move on over AZ, but AZ have really shown them their limits. And so the already bad season for the two Premier League big teams might come to an end already in the round of 16. Those are the two most important games of the season up until that point for either of these teams. Frankfurt, Lyon, Rangers and Bordeaux, of course, huge favorites to move on. If we put this now in the larger context, suddenly the two Roman teams are the favorites to win it all. I still don't want to ride too high on these. Yes, Lazio favorite to move on, Roma favorite to move on. I still can see Athletic Club very well beating Roma at home. Summer Mess is just a different proposition. Lyon also looking good, as do Frankfurt. And you see it, if the Premier League teams are falling, they have a steep hill to climb. Still, I can imagine moving them on. If we're looking at the upcoming matches, for me, it really comes down to Athletic Club against Roma. I think this is an absolutely outstanding tie, a tie that would be worthy of the final, especially in the form that both of these teams are in. Roma really hitting the other level yet, and if Athletic Club can get both Williamses in play together with Sunset, this could be a really exciting affair. It can go either way. I really can see Athletic Club winning big, but also Roma holding out and getting a wily Italian win. The other three early slots I don't think are that interesting. It's then the late slots that make it a little bit more interesting, and it's of course the two matches with the Premier League teams. United, what will they do against Real Sociedad at home, and can Spurs overcome a deficit at home to a AZ team that is feeling itself in this Europa League? So, those were my thoughts on what happened in the Europa League. I think it was a really exciting evening. Yes, I'm very Italo-centric in a way, but I also learned my lesson. Don't ride too high on the Italian teams, even if things look good. Be careful, because the opposition is not an easy one, although Lazio I would expect to move on, and then they play Bordeaux, and yeah, that is a team that caused you some trouble. Ask Roma, who not too long ago, even in the season that they won the Conference League, had quite some trouble at Bordeaux. I'm also curious to see whether both Premier League teams will move on or not. So yeah, and don't sleep on Frankfurt. That's all I'm saying for now. I think this team has it in them to go on a deeper run as well. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like these. I'll talk to you soon over more things in my soccer universe. Bye! Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!